Hi, good morning to anyone awake in Nigeria at this time, and to other people awake in other parts of the world. So, yeah, this is me just thinking in my head. Like, I know it's late for me, yeah, but not for some others. But I just got thinking about life in general and philosophies that guide one's life. You know, a lot of people have philosophies that guide them. For some, they are not so consistent to it, it can change in some circumstances. For instance, someone says, maybe I am a very loyal person, I believe in loyalty. There may be a little test. It could be a money test, it could be anything test. It comes and it sways them away from the philosophy they owned as theirs, and it's no longer what guides their life. So yeah, that's what got me thinking. Like, what philosophies do you live by that if you were to put a gun on your head, or if they were to like, if that you could defend any time of the day? Growing up, my brother used to say something like, he used to quote this quote, I think by Socrates, so that an unexamined life is not worth living. Man, know thyself. And somehow that thing got stuck in my head, and it became one of the things I always thought about. Like, an unexamined life is not worth living. An unexamined life is not worth living. So a lot of things, a lot of people have philosophies of life. There was a time where I don't know, we didn't have phones, were not I don't know, I'm not so old, but there were times where we didn't all have phones. Of course, you had to memorize your parents' number, and at those times in school, especially, you had a book. I had a book where I have phone contacts of my classmates. So you have the names, you have the addresses, you have the hobbies. Yeah, that was where people's hobbies were actually important to us, and you would just include them there, like hobbies. And there you also had philosophies, and that's where people now put the things that were like their philosophies of their lives in that category. That's when people actually, I think, that's where people were thinking, not now that people just say anything and just get away with it. Personally, I have a few, or so much. The word of God is is my go-to anytime though. It's like my go-to. But outside the word, these ones are also coined from the word. But outside the word of God, there are some guiding statements. There's some things that are like very dear to my heart. The things that when I think about, and I want to live better. I want to live better. Like, what kind of impact do you want to have on the life of others? That is one major thing that it doesn't bother me, but it's like um food for thoughts, if that's what I'll call it. Yeah. So guys, it's pillow talk. Oh, feel free to drop your comments in the comment section. I'll just be here for like 30 minutes and I'll be out of your faces and sleeping soundly. But yes, making impact in the lives of others is like a major drive in my life. Like, guys, it's not about the number of people. Trust me, I don't want to, like, it mustn't be a multitude. You see people do good to 10,000, and Jesus fed them. Now should be plenty people Jesus fed. Yeah, you see people making global impact, like it's their birthdays and the whole world just comes running and be like, this guy has changed my life, God bless my life, and so on and so forth. I don't necessarily want the crowd. I just want to sow my small, small seed, my little, little seed, and hope for a harvest. No matter how mighty, no matter how small, I just want a harvest. I just want to make impact. I just want to make impact, no matter how little, no matter even if it's one person, even if it's one life that can be changed just because of something I have contributed. I am not God. I'm not going to mold you from start to finish. It's just my own contribution to someone else's life that would make me so happy. So sometime in 2012, or was it 11? Yeah, 2011. Yeah, that's 2011. I started a foundation then. I just remembered. I started a foundation then. I called it Child Care Foundation. What made me start that foundation? I saw a boy. he came, he was selling pure water during school hours. I know he was supposed to be in school, but he wasn't in school, so he was selling pure water. So I got in conversation with him, why you not in school and so on. And he turned out his mom could not sorry, it was a girl, sorry, 2011, it was a girl. Yeah. So it turned out the mom was not well to do. So as we've learned over time, we don't just start helping people. Of course, you have to like do a little background check. I went to his family. I went to where he said his mom was. Of course, I didn't go alone. I went to a couple of other people, and of course, the story checked out. The guy really, the lady, the babe, really didn't have, like, didn't come from so much, and the mom couldn't afford. And of course, they were younger. She had younger. What am I saying? She had younger ones, and of course, the mom couldn't cater for all of them. So, with the help of a couple of people, we funded that girl's um that term. For the term, we went to a school that was very close, that she didn't have to transport herself to, and paid. And the proprietress or headmistress, I don't know what they call it, she made a prayer for us that turned up, and the prayer was so heartfelt, and that was all I needed. That was like, to me, that was like a well, that was like a pat on the back. It felt good, it felt impactful. And I want to do more of charitable works. Like, I want to lend a hand, I want to help the needy. Like, that's a guiding philosophy, to give to those that can't pay you back in return. Yeah, we're looking for a philosophy of life. So this is one now put into words: to give to those that can't give you back in return. And amazingly, it is backed up by the scripture. The Bible says that he that gives to the poor lends to God. So yes, there is a joy in my heart whenever I am able to do that. And recently, guys, I have been plotting ways that I could get back into the system. Not like I've not been giving, like, no, but yeah, yeah. But then, as in, I also came upon a need again. See, I'm smiling as if it's a good thing. It's not a good thing, but it's just the joy of being able to reach out to people. So here is the thing I have um thought of or be working on. Last 2 weeks, yeah, I was in the hospital. It wasn't me, my son was sick, but I happened to be with him in that duration of time. So in the midst of my predicament, if I would use the word in parentheses, in the midst of the sickness, in the midst of the fever, in the midst of my distress, of course, hospitals are not so cool. It's not so cool the place you want to stay. I was able to meet people's needs. And trust me, it didn't even feel, at the point, I didn't feel like I was in a hospital. I felt like I came to the hospital to actually answer the prayers in these people's heart. Here is a typical scenario. A lady comes in with his child, a woman comes in with his little girl. I think she was about 14. Yeah, if I'm to give the age. And at that, in the ward where we were, the beds were all filled up. The only bed left was a bad bed, as in it was rolling back and forth. It was bad. Like, who would want to even lie down in that kind of bed? It was not comfortable for someone that was not sick. Talk more for someone that was sick. And that was the only bed the nurses saw to offer her. And she wasn't very comfortable. She and her daughter sat down on the chair. As in, she placed her leg on daughter's chair, daughter placed it, and that's how they wanted to sleep. Hello, Experience Africa. Ah, you're welcome to my live stream. Oh, I just came to just talk a little, then I'll now go. But you're welcome. So I was talking about philosophies of life and the things that guide us in life. So I was talking about one major philosophy that I not like I just adopted it, but it's something I want to like build on, yeah, and which is simply helping people that can't help themselves or reward you for the things you do for them. So I was now telling the story of how I was in the hospital last 2 weeks with my son, and a lady was giving a admission bed that was bad. I know these things don't happen everywhere, but it happens in Nigeria. And of course, what can we do? For now, we can't do so much than complain, but then we can do the little we can do. So this lady was sitting on the chair with her daughter, and of course, it wasn't comfortable. So what did I do? I had to tell her, okay, let's go get stones so we can hold the bed to the wall, at least, so that it won't move around. And that's how I helped her. Oh. I left my son, of course, he was sleeping and he was safe. where he was. Yeah, he's healthy now. So we went and gathered stones and we held the bed. That was problem number one solved. It wasn't perfect, but at least halfway. Number two, bed sheets. The hospital did not have bed sheets for her. They had run out. Me personally, I came with mine, so it wasn't an issue for me because they didn't give me. But this lady, how could you lie in a hospital bed? You don't even know who was there before you or what ailment they came with, or as in it was just somehow. So it felt so good to be able to assist her, even though I had my own issues. So I came with two bed sheets, as if I knew. I came with one that I used to put. I put one first on the bed, and I laid the second one. But when I saw the need that the lady had, I had to sacrifice the one I had under. So that's how I sacrificed my bed sheet for her. But then it was sacrifice, but it felt good. It felt good. So that's one philosophy of life that I imbibe wherever I go. I always want to lend a helping hand to someone. My brother, you have no idea whatsoever. Only God will help us. You know why? Was it in 2000 in 2018? Yeah, I had my son. So they now referred me to a teaching hospital because of something, an emergency of some sort. They said he needed blood transfusion, blah 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 blah. Do you know the hospital admitted him and put him in a small like nursery, but they wouldn't admit the mother? So what that means is that your son is admitted, like he has bed. Code with Samuel, you're welcome. So Samuel, which is my son, was admitted in the room, but you, the mother, you don't have a space. And because I was referred, there was nothing I could do. Like I just had to stay for them to run the test they needed to run, because the doctor made it look like it was a severe case and needed experts, and the experts were only the teaching hospital and so on and so forth. So after that time, I I was practically sleeping outside the hospital because you have to stay awake. You don't know when the doctors will call you. So we were like a bunch of mothers sitting on the corridor. And this, guess what? I just had my baby how many weeks ago? I was 7 weeks ago. I had not gone home. I had stitches because, of course, tear. The baby was big, so there was tear. So it was very uncomfortable. So I told myself I was going to go back to those mothers, like the other, because that's 2 weeks I was there. So I saw them. They were there again. Leave. Oh, let's not talk about hospital situation. Let's talk about philosophies of life. My brother, it is 1:13 a.m. here too. And if you check my videos, I had not done a video in a long while. So it's the love for the camera and the love part for the things I've missed that made me pop up. And I don't intend to stay for so long. I will soon be out. So it's fine. Thank you for coming around. Basically, what we do live is for people that will run us later. So it's fine. Thank you so much. I appreciate you coming around. No problem. Okay, yeah, Cody Samuel, he's doing better now. He's doing better now. But the whole experience made me start thinking about life again. Because in the hospital we lost a child, a little girl died. Yeah, a little girl died, and they wrapped her up. But because the parents still hadn't paid the bill, they were there for over an hour. At the point, they carried the girl's bed where she was and took it outside. Life is just so, there's nothing in it. It's so small. I'll be so, it fades away like dust. Most times people want to like clamor. Oh, thank you, experience. Thank you. I appreciate that. People look at, make it look as if they do or die affair, but then it's not. There's nothing in the life. Like there's absolutely nothing there. It's just vapor. It can just evaporate at any time. So why I actually did this video, I was like, what's the philosophy of your life? What philosophy are you living by? What standards, like what is guiding your life? What are the um guiding principles of your life? Yeah, what are the guiding principles of your life? Me, I was saying personally, to do good is one. To do good to those that can't do good again to you, those that can't return the favor. Yeah, that's one. Which is why I said I was going to go back to the hospital, because I had a lot of people I met that couldn't afford their bills. So I was trusting God. Still trusting God for like in resources. But regardless, whatever I come up with, my plan is to go back there and maybe like divide it amongst the people that I met. and just to help them go by. Because when the doctors come into the world, nobody's asking you, do you have money? Have your child eaten? No, all they're asking you for, do you have injection? Do you have plaster? Even the things the hospital is supposed to provide, they ask you for it. Imagine asking a patient for plaster, asking a patient for spirit, asking a patient for cotton wool to chook a child, your own child injection. You will provide everything. The next thing they will kuma ask me is for doctor's robe and medical school certificate. It's horrible. It's horrible. So it made me think about the frailty of life, how insignificant our life could be, just a little thing and its own. And what kind of life, what version of life are you living right now? Like, are you living your best life? Are you enjoying the life you're living now? Will you in 5 years be proud of the you that is living today? And of course, in eternity, will this life you're living now count? So that's just the thing. Who life are you impacting? Oh, guys, pillow talk. So yes, like I said earlier, I have not done a YouTube video in a long while. So that's why I said to come to this live. I don't want to stay long, trust me. In fact, I think I'm even tired. I just want to come and ramble a little about life and the things that I have experienced in this my small life. So yes, I was just in earlier before experience popped up about a child I was helping when I was in school. So yeah, I took her back to school, and the headmistress prayed an amazing prayer over my life. And I believe such prayers, can go a long way in our lives. So, my charge to anyone watching right now is just to live a life of purpose. Don't live for yourself, live for others. Don't spend for yourself alone. Whatever you're acquiring, be it knowledge, be it wisdom, be it finances, be even the health, life, that you have long life and prosperity, whatever it is you have, make sure someone else is benefiting from that life that you're living. I was saying earlier, it mustn't be a room full of people. It might be just one person that you're helping out for time, just one person that you're building up, just one person that you're encouraging, just one person that you're sending urgent 2K, like we say here in Nigeria, just one person that is motivated by your constant checkups and words of encouragement, can go a long way. So yes, guys, I'm streaming from Nigeria, code with Samuel. Yeah, it's sad, but yeah, that's just the way it is. I was telling someone that I wish there was like a law that could annul the deaths of someone that had lost someone in the hospital. Because it's sad, because in this particular case, the father was just sitting down there, and there was nothing, as in, there was nothing anyone could do for him, because he was just mourning his daughter that just passed on. And the system still expected him to clear the bills, the medical bills that she had accumulated. So he couldn't go anywhere. He couldn't go anywhere with her corpse. He had to stay there till maybe whoever that he came with had cleared the bills or something before they can now leave the facility or something. It's sad, my brother. It's sad. Life is just, it was really sad. Like I was telling you now, the lady that stayed not very close, like very close to me. I think she stayed in the hospital for 2 weeks. Yeah, so her bills accumulated to, I think about almost 50,000 naira. Yeah, that's how much dollars. I don't know. People should do the math. Yeah, God will help us. Yeah, so her bill accumulated, but she was good to go. Like the son was okay, but she couldn't afford to pay her bills, and for that reason, she had to stay back. As in, my heart went out to her, but I didn't have the money to give her at that point. And right now, I don't even know if she's still there. I said I was going to go back to the hospital on Wednesday, but I haven't gone, because if I go now, I will still be able to help her. I can give her maybe 5K, but it won't be enough to clear her bills. It's wicked, but and also the systems that are run, they're just sad. Like, it's just a sad situation. That is why, even though we live in a wicked generation, we that are not wicked will have to change the narrative. You see why I talk about the philosophy of life? So let's be the little kind people. Let's be the few kind people that will shine the light in the wicked world. I was telling the story of the lady that came admitted in the hospital, that came and they gave her a bad bed and without bed sheet. I had to sacrifice a bed sheet of mine. And I saw the joy in her heart when I was able to help her. It felt good. When you give things to people, you feel good. The people feel good too. You feel like you've given your all, even when it's not your all. There's just this joy that it gives. And I feel it will make you live long, sef. That joy is unexplainable. It's rare. It's a very amazing feeling you have when you do good for someone. So when I was up, when they discharged me from the hospital, I saw she was a bit bothered. So she was now like, "Oh, should she get me the bed sheet?" I said, "Ah, no, don't worry. You can keep the bed sheet. You can keep the." I even gave her a bucket. I gave her some other stuff that I obviously wouldn't need. Since she was still in the hospital setting, she just came in the day before and I was leaving. So I gave her everything and she was very, very grateful. It felt good. So, like you said, we live in a thank you. We live in a wicked world, but we just have to change the narrative. So here, cheers to us that are changing the narrative. We the kind-hearted people of the world. So yes, that's just the way it went down, and we don't intend to stop. But this stream is stopping now because I have to go to bed. I didn't do this all day because the kids are on break, and of course, oh, it is not an awesome time. You get to spend time with them, but man, children can be very, 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 very a handful. So, guys, I'm going to sign out right now. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for my audience of two. I appreciate both of you, Experience and Code with Samuel. Thank you so much for tuning in. But I just wanted to drop something on my YouTube channel so that YouTube will know that I'm still in the game while I work on other videos and work on being consistent on the channel. I have been caught up with a lot of things and I have not been posting consistently, but I hope to do better and, of course, create awesome content that, of course, that hopefully will go viral. So thank you so much, guys. Feel free to sign out because I am signing out. I have to sleep because these children will come crashing in any moment from now, and I need to rest my head for the instructions and corrections that will come tomorrow. Thank you all so much. I appreciate you. For the ones that would watch it later, thank you, thank you, thank you. All right, sleep well too. Thank you, Sam.